Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
I can't breathe!
You can talk. Put your hand behind your back. Put your hand behind your back.
Your hands off of me!
Sir? Get out of my store right now. Get out of my store. Get out of my store.
You're not wearing a mask.
You're not wearing a mask.
If Canadian Tire employees want to deny people their rights and ignore mask exemption laws, then people need to hear about it. I'm sorry, but hiding behind "it's private property, bro," and "it's store policy, man," well, that's just not how it works. For the last year, the Rebel News inbox has been flooded with examples of stores and restaurants not abiding by mask bylaws in regards to exemptions. Now, most of the bylaws are copy and paste from each other because our politicians are lazy, you know that. But they all allow for exemptions. Take Toronto, for example, the biggest city in the country. Exemptions include people with medical conditions, those who can't put a mask on or take it off by themselves, and children under 2, which of course is still insane. Pay particular attention to this next part in the legislation. The policy shall not require employees or members of the public to provide any proof of the exemptions set out in Section 2A. You'll find basically the same thing in every bylaw. The reason you're not supposed to ask is because the teenager working at the grocery store shouldn't determine who is allowed to use a wheelchair or say, "Excuse me, miss, I don't think you need that seeing eye dog. I'm going to call the police if you don't leave right now." I'm pretty sure that was all covered in a PSA from 1985, by the way. But that doesn't stop this from happening all the time. Remember Betty Wilson? Back in September, she was denied entry to a McDonald's in Trenton, Ontario for not wearing a mask. Why was this bigot not wearing a mask, you ask? Because she dared to require oxygen.
You have to have some sort of face covering.
So this is in direct violation with the health unit mandate. Are you aware of that?
We've actually been contracted with the health unit and they're okay with it.
I said, pardon? They said, you have to leave. I said, why? She said, because you aren't wearing a mask. I said, I don't have to wear a mask. I said, and she said, get out of my store.
The Big Carrot is a health food store in Toronto, so definitely they have to follow the mask bylaw we showed you. But I guess the Big Carrot knows what's better for you than you do. Earlier this month, when Giovanni and his elderly mother tried to exercise their rights, the staff of the Big Carrot attacked them. Take a look at this.
I'm sorry.
I am going to have to ask you to leave, unfortunately, or put on your mask.
No, we're not leaving.
You will not be served at the checkout. So you
Well,
can
I'm
gather
going to go
your
all
items.
over there and I'm going to try my luck.
I'm also going to call the police at the moment
That's
too, because
fine.
we're asking you to leave private property
It's not
and you're
private property.
refusing.
You're
This
licensed. You're licensed by the city, open to the public.
You're not allowed to film in here. Turn it off now,
Of course
please.
you can film. What?
Turn it off.
Don't touch
Why?
me.
Do
Don't
not
touch
film
it.
me. I'm
Don't
working.
touch God.
Get out.
Guys, I'm going to
You're
have
going to get
to leave
assaulted.
right now.
You're
I'm
gonna
assaulted?
You're just assaulted.
Assault.
I'm
Call the
that
police.
I should prevent my hold
That's
on.
assault.
Yeah, and we're within our rights to do that.
My rights don't end where your opinion begins.
It's not an opinion, it's our policy.
It's not an opinion, it's our policy. Oh, is that how it works? What if a store policy was, we don't allow disabled people in the store? Is that against the law, or is that just my magical policy that means you have to do what I say? You heard them, folks. Put a mask on or you must get out. Now, you would think the City of Toronto must follow the exemption rules. They made them up. They're their rules. Think again. Here's a City of Toronto bus driver saying he's being harassed after a passenger dared to try to speak to him after the driver put the bus out of service because he wouldn't put on a mask. For everyone's safety, of course.
At some point, you're going to want to see other people smile, right?
This guy's harassing me. And, he's in my personal space.
I'm not in your personal space. You have a plexiglass divider.
Thank you.
But nice try.
This guy's harassing me. He's in my personal space, he says behind his magical plexiglass shield. Keep in mind that whole interaction is less than 3 minutes long. Stay away from me, peasant. I work for the government. But wait, there's more from Toronto's finest. Here's the very same driver not wearing his mask over his mouth, illegal of course, followed by apparently some sort of supervisor, not a naval officer as it may appear, claiming it is illegal to film him outside without his permission.
It's illegal to take pictures or videotape people without permission.
It's public interest, though.
It's
I'm
not
a journalist.
Public interest. If I can call the police, I just have them tell you to videotape.
You can call the police. That's fine.
No other single store or establishment has resulted in more complaints than the hardware/big box store Canadian Tire. It's a national chain. Rebel News has received over 100 emails regarding possible human rights violations against the chain. Here's a viral video coming from Burnaby, British Columbia, where a customer was put in a chokehold by loss prevention security for not wearing a mask.
Good. Stop. Put a handcuff on his hand.
I can't breathe!
Put your hand behind your
I
back.
can't breathe!
You can talk. Put your hand behind your back. Put your hand behind your back.
Even if he didn't have a mask exemption, that doesn't mean that the people meant to call police on mouthwash thieves get to use jujitsu on you. You'll also likely notice that the proper mask wearing and social distancing doesn't seem to matter when Canadian Tire employees are attacking you. This is just one of many videos we've seen from their lovely establishments. Another is from Michael Taranov. He was banned from his local Canadian Tire despite telling employees he's medically exempt. That didn't matter to the manager. That's our policy, he decreed.
Sir?
Get out of my store right now. Get out of my store. Get out of my store.
You're not wearing a mask.
You're not wearing a mask. We're not selling this. No, we're going to refund it to you.
Don't sell my bottles.
Well, you can.
Don't sell my bottles.
Private property. We'll call the police. Okay,
I'm telling you right now, sir. What are you going to do? Put your phone away. What are you going to do? Put your phone away. Erase the pictures of my staff members that you were taking. Right now. It is against policy to have any pictures taken in the store. You delete those pictures and we'll talk.
Delete those pictures and then maybe you can have your rights, said the unquestionable retail manager who doesn't like it when you record his employees breaking the law. It's just our policy. No one cares. You also heard him say, this is private property. Now this is the new loophole for business owners who want to violate human rights and not get punished for it. Customer walks in without a mask, say they have an exemption. The store ignores it, calls the police and say, this person is trespassing on our property. I'm sorry, but not liking that a person has a medical exemption doesn't mean you can treat them differently under the law. Curbside pickup, no. Online only, also no. That's just not how it works. Stores must provide you equal service. It's like saying, sorry, there's no wheelchair ramp, we'll just bring it out to you instead. What's the problem? Why do you have an issue with this? Just walk, everybody else is. Do people not wear masks just because they don't want to? Yes, of course, but that's not for you to figure out. You've probably seen a morbidly obese person using a wheelchair and didn't agree with that. It doesn't mean you get to throw them on the ground. You don't also get to block the handicapped parking spots either. So what do? You either have to demand bylaw services comes and actually upholds the law, get a ticket and go to fightthefines.com, we'll fight that for you of course, or you can file a human rights complaint, because reasoning with these medical fascists doesn't seem to work. We've tried it. Canadian Tire won't respond to our emails asking if they believe in following the law. Sorry for wasting your time, Jocelyn from Corporate Communications. Too many bicycle licensing deals to get through, I guess. That's why we launched unmask.ca, so you know exactly how to properly file a human rights complaint if you are illegally discriminated against. If Canadian Tire employees want to deny people their rights and ignore mask exemption laws, then people need to hear about it. I'm sorry, but hiding behind it's private property, bro, and it's store policy, man, well, that's just not how it works. If you've been discriminated against, go to unmask.ca to learn how to fight back. We are fighting for civil rights because it seems like no one else will right now.